Hi everybody, it's Nika. I'm sorry my voice sounds completely horrible, but my entire family and I have actually been fighting a cold for the past week and a half, and I finally got my voice back. So I wanted to share with you two projects that I completed over the weekend. The first is a swap for last month. It was an Inchies swap hosted by Dorothy, and we were supposed to make 5 different designs for our group of 5. And I actually joined 2 groups, so this is my first group. I used a whole bunch of those dollar stamps, the 2x2 dollar stamps that you can get at Joann's and Michael's, like the Studio G and things like that. So for my first group, or my first Inchie, it's like a baby theme. It's an ABC block. I colored it in with Perfect Pearl and Distress ink. And then I added a bow on top just to make it look a little cuter. My second one says Merry Christmas. It's matted on some music note paper. And I just tied a tiny little black satin bow to put on top of the present stack. The sentiments from the Christmas, the birthday, and this Inchie actually came from a paper tray ink stamp set called Mixed Messages. They're really tiny sentiments, and they just fit so perfectly on the Inchies, and they're just so cute. So that's what I used for these, and they're all embossed. I think all the stamping here is embossed. I went crazy with the embossing again, like I did with the altered tickets, but once I rediscovered my embossing powders, I'm kind of going crazy with them now. So this one is actually a little present and a cupcake that I fussy cut. It says birthday wishes. The present has a little bow. This is actually from the stamp set. I just used the smaller box and just had it glued straight down onto the pattern paper and chipboard. I colored it the same way that I colored these 2 Inchies. My 4th Inchie says just because, and it has like a little love letter note thing that I used pop dots to pop up and make dimensional. I just stamped a script stamp inside the envelope, and then I layered it on a My Mind's Eye paper from the Lost and Found 2 collection, but I'm not sure which line it is. And for my last Inchie in this group, I just embossed this thing. It says A Mother's Love Endures. It's kind of like a Mother's Day theme, and then I just glued down a small tiny rose from I Am Roses. They're so cute. So that is for my first group. On the back I just have my information that I printed from my printer. My second group of Inchies is this. For these 2, I actually used this stamp set. It's by Hampton Art. It's kind of like a birthday celebratory stamp, and it's got a whole bunch. I got it at Big Lots for $1. But these are the stamps that I used for the Inchies. And then it has other stamps like phrases, and then it has some frames and some borders. It's a really cute stamp set. It was only $1. It was such a steal. You got so many stamps. So anyways, I stamped these 2 twice and then colored them and cut out the main image and used pop dots to make it more dimensional. The Happy Halloween one, I tried to make it like a moon or something like that, and I used a button. This is a button in the shape of a bat, and I found in my embossing powder stash some glow-in-the-dark powder, embossing powder, and I didn't even realize I had it until my son went through my drawer and started throwing all of my embossing powders out. So when I was trying to put it all back together, I was kind of reading the labels and seeing what I had, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. I didn't even know they made that. So I embossed the entire button in that, and now it's a glow-in-the-dark bat, which is really cool and really neat. The background of this, to the black background here, I've actually painted it, and then with the black folk art acrylic paint, and then on top of that I used this Folk Art Extreme glitter acrylic paint in black, and it's really, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's really glittery and shimmery back there, and it's really a nice touch, especially for something so dark. It's not just flat plain black. It's got some shimmer to it, which I really love. My last 2 inchies for this group, I just embossed a kind of flourishy corner thing, and then added one of those I Am Roses again, and this is just a Martha Stewart's butterfly punch. Like, it's my absolute favorite butterfly punch. It's the 3-in-1 classic butterfly. So I just layered that and added a rhinestone on top in the middle. And then this one, this is actually a mirror piece that I found at Joann's, and I just used some black StazOn ink to stamp. It's actually the same stamp corner flourish here. I just stamped a little bit onto the mirror, then added another I Am Roses rose, and just a ribbon to make it look pretty. And I thought that was really neat, using the mirror. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. I think it's cool. So anyways, that was for my group, or my swap for last month. And because the Inchies were so popular last month, one of the hostesses at MSR, Yvonne, who's also Scrap Bliss on YouTube, she decided to kind of continue the theme of the Inchies, but she wanted to make it a little bit different. So instead of making 1 inch by 1 inch squares, she wanted us to do 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch squares. And she needed to come up with a name for it, because it's not an Inchie and it's not a Twinchie. It's kind of in between. So another friend of ours on MSR, Jackie, who's Miss J101 on YouTube, she came up with the name B'Twinchies, which is in between an Inchie and a Twinchie. And these are my B'Twinchies. It's such a cute name, and it's a pretty ingenious name. And we were supposed to make 4 different designs for our group of 5, and I absolutely love the B'Twinchies. This size is so perfect. It's not so small like the Inchies. You can compare the size. It's not so small like the Inchies, where I was kind of stumped on how to do some things and how to not overdo it, or how to not make it so plain. But at the same time, it's not too big, like a 2 inch by 2 inch, the Twinchie. For me, the B'Twinchies was a perfect size for me to work with. It's still small and cute, and it's big enough to work with. So for my B'Twinchies, most of the stamps I used, actually I think all of the stamps I used are from this stamp set. It is the My Mind's Eye Lost and Found Halloween. It's the set that they came out with this year, recently. And it's such a nice collection. I don't have the papers yet, but I'm planning on getting them later when I'm not so busy trying to catch up on all of my swaps. So I love their Lost and Found collection. The Lost and Found, the Lost and Found 2, the Christmas, and now the Halloween. They're just so gorgeous, and I love that particular collection line. So for my first B'Twinchie, I used the witch stamp, and I embossed her. And for the background paper for all of this, I actually used the Die Cuts with the View, the Bewitched matte stack. It's a really pretty paper, kind of spooky, kind of whimsical, kind of. I really like it. So I used that. And so I embossed the witch. I used the Perfect Pearl and Distress ink mix to kind of color in the moon. And I just embossed the word scary in silver and added it to the top. And for my second one, I used an EK Success postage stamp die to kind of make it look like a postage stamp on the edge. I don't know if you can see it. I made these really dimensional. So I pop dotted the pattern paper, and then on top of that, whoops, I'm breaking my project. On top of that, I pop dotted the pumpkin from the stamp set that I had also colored in and then fussy cut out. and that's layered. And then this one says Halloween. It's just an acetate piece that I used from recycled products, like the plastic packaging that products come in, like this. I just recycled that, and I used StazOn ink to stamp the Halloween and just added some rhinestones on the end. And actually the black cardstock here and on this B'Twinchie is the same thing that I did with this Inchie. It's painted black, and then I used the extreme glitter to paint over the black so that it was really shimmery and glittery. For this B'Twinchie, I did the same thing with the postage stamp. The spider web is actually flocked. I used some Martha Stewart's flocking, and then the spider and actually the bat are the same. They're buttons. I got them from Joann. There was a whole bunch. It came in this packaging. It's Bats and Spiders Favorite Findings, a big bag of buttons. It was $5.99 originally, but I had like a 50% off coupon, so I used that, and there's just a ton of them. I separated the bats and the spiders. There's like 4 different sizes of the spiders and 3 different sizes of the bats, but there's a ton of buttons in here, so I was planning on sharing that with my group, since there's no way I'd use that many buttons in this Halloween project or any of my Halloween projects combined. So I embossed these again with the glow-in-the-dark embossing powder, and then I just added the words crawly, spooky, and those are all pop dotted in there. To this one, this is actually a working frame. Here's another one, and it's a working picture frame, so those in my group members, they can put a photo in it, like a little 1-by-1 photo, and it has the acetate backing on it, so it will hold the picture in place. And then I just added some bling on the corners, and then the bats there, and that was pretty much it. And yeah, that is it for my B'Twinchies. These were so much fun to make. I might make some more just to, you know, send out to my friends, or include it with some of my swaps that I'm still doing and catching up with. So that is it for the 2 projects that I finished this weekend. I have like 3 more projects that I'm finishing this week, so I'll be back to share those with you. And thanks for watching. Bye.